In Luigi's mansion, there's money everywhere, in cabinets, drawers, fans, and even the ghosts themselves. The game encourages you to stash your pockets with as much money as possible. It's totaled at the end of every area, and you even receive a rank at the end of the game based on how much money you collected. But what if you avoided all of it? Can you beat Luigi's mansion without collecting any money? Let's find out. Throughout the mansion, there's a grand total of 142,390,000 G in the form of coins, bills, gold bars, gems, and pearls. That's a lot of money we have to avoid. And while I can't fully go for 100% completion, as that entails earning an A rank, which requires collecting over 100 million G, but I still would like to see if it's possible to capture all 23 Portugos and 50 boos in the game during this challenge. Starting off, we find Luigi approaching a mansion he supposedly won through a contest he never entered. To me, that sets off a few red flags, but who am I to judge? After some very normal mansion activity, we obtain our first key, bringing us to the parlor, where we have a run-in with some paranormal residents. Luckily though, Professor Egad was on the scene to help us out. After getting jumped a second time, he helps us escape to his lab, where we obtain a super powerful weapon to combat the spirits. A vacuum. Some brief training and we're ready to run it back. Heading into the parlor again, where we come across something even scarier than ghosts. Money. There's coins everywhere in this room. Luckily, they're not too hard to avoid though, so we can progress as normal, pissing off some paintings and having round 2 with the ghosts here. I was worried the coins would be more of an issue, but sticking to the corners, this room was a piece of cake and we were rewarded with a key to the anteroom. This was a pretty simple room, as there's almost no money to be found here anyways, and the same can be said about the wardrobe room as long as you only open the left wardrobe and focus on the ghosts. Other than slipping on bananas from some very inconsiderate spirits, this room gave very little trouble. After consoling a heartbroken Toad, we head back to the foyer to reach the west hallway just to find a very inconvenient path of coins leading directly to the door. Does the challenge really end this early? Well, no. You can actually sneak just over the top of them and even open the door very carefully from the side while avoiding all the coins. Thankfully, you don't actually pick up any of the coins on the other side of the door when you go through, so we're good to move on to the first portrait ghost, Neville. You can't fight portrait ghosts like the normal ones. Instead, each has a unique way you have to reveal their heart. For Neville, you just have to look away until he yawns. Easy enough, right? Well, actually, it's a bit tougher for this challenge. Portrait ghosts also drop pearls based on HP drained in one go, and these pearls have value. Even the smallest is worth 50,000 G, so we definitely have to avoid them. The study is kind of small, so they're a bit hard to avoid, but it's definitely doable. I kind of worked my way around the room, staying away from where they dropped. The pearls also despawn after a little while, so if they're in a bad spot, I just wait until they disappeared. With some patience, I successfully got the first portrait ghost, and our total is still 0 G. I tried going back to save real quick just to realize that's not an option anymore, as the coin just outside the door is automatically picked up by going back through it, so I had to reset. Back in the hallway though, we've got a bit of a problem. That coin trail blocks off the whole left side, which is where we have to go. Squeezing past isn't an option this time, but luckily we are equipped with a vacuum, which gave me an idea. Very carefully, you can actually move the coins around a little bit without picking them up. This took me a few attempts to get right, but eventually was able to get through coin-free. Off to the master bedroom to take on Lydia, who wasn't too challenging to get, just dodging some pearls, staying away from the furniture on the left side, and we're on our way to the nursery. Immediately though, we're faced with another challenge. To activate Chauncey, we have to move this rocking chair, but it's blocked by a circle of coins. It's tight, but we can use the same method from earlier to move the coins out of the way, allowing us to get Chauncey's attention. Step 2 here is to hit him with one of the balls in the room, and in the process of this, I picked up another coin. No worries though, this is still very doable. After quickly running through the area again, we're back and able to start the real fight. Nothing's really different here, as there's no money in this arena to begin with, so after a quick fight, we obtain the heart key and are brought back to the lab with no money to show for it. Kicking off area 2, we only have one room open to us, and luckily it's really easy. Just a few ghosts and we get a key to the ballroom. Here there's some shy ghosts to get through before revealing the floating whirlwind dancing ghosts. On the first attempt, I did run into a pearl, but on the second was able to get through no problem, taking us to the storage room. And Luigi just can't stay out of trouble and stumbles across dozens of boos, releasing them all into the mansion. From this point on, almost every room will have a boo in it to catch after the lights come on, including the previous rooms. So we're headed back to area 1. The parlor was a bit awkward once again, but I was able to get the boo, narrowly avoiding some coins in the process. The same can be said for all the other rooms in this area. I did have to maneuver past the hallway coins again, but it was very doable. I was also jump scared by some coins in the light of the nursery, but luckily barely missed them, picking up our 6th boo. Taking the mirror back to the foyer, I made sure to pick up the boo from the storage room, but the one from the ballroom escaped, so I came back for it later. And with that detour, we're caught up and move on to the washroom, cheering up another toad and getting the key to the fortune teller's room. Here we have a quick chat with Madame Clairvoyant about the state of the economy and move on to the mirror room, which I cleared first try, including the boo. From this room we're also given the fire element, which will be really helpful moving forward. Immediately wreaking havoc with our newfound power and lighting Shiver's candelabra on fire, he runs off to his quarters, where I accidentally grabbed a pearl hidden behind this sewing machine. After resetting though, I was able to defeat him no problem, even getting a save after grabbing the boo from this room. But up ahead lies one of the scariest rooms in this challenge, the hidden room. I mean, just look at it, this room screams money, and opening one wrong chest would send riches everywhere. Okay, yep, that's a lot of money. yeah, kind of like that. Even the chandelier in this room is lined with bills, and I accidentally found that out the hard way trying to suck up a ghost. After resetting, I decided to tackle the laundry room first instead, collecting Mario's cap, defeating some ghosts, and avoiding the furniture that might have some money in it. Unfortunately, I can't seem to stay away from light fixtures and picked up some money right before capturing the boo. But on the next run, wrapped up both this room and the hidden room, and also made a new archenemy. This damn door. I accidentally opened it so many times. But with that out of the way, we can move on to the conservatory, reliving some classics and taking down Melody and the boo here with ease. In the dining room, we face Mr. Lugs and his endless supply of food. Staying away from the cabinets on the sides though, I cooked him easily. The boo on the other hand gave me a bit of trouble. Chasing him down to the laundry room, I, would you believe it, kept opening the same door. But with that speed bump, we can move on and clear the kitchen, receiving the water element. Trying to get the boo though caused another downpour of coins from the lights, forcing a reset. With Luigi now in his firefighter era, we can put out the fire on the door, taking us to the boneyard. Here we very deliberately leave the plants to wilt, as even they have dreaded money in them. Spooky the dog wasn't too difficult, but I did run into a pearl on my first attempt. A quick reset though, and he was no problem, taking us to the graveyard to face off against Bogmire. And to be honest, this fight was a lot easier than I remembered. And just like with Chauncey, there's no money to be found in this arena anyway, so I very easily defeated him and picked up the club key still with no money to my name. Stepping out into the courtyard, I grabbed Mario's letter and headed down a well to find Mario himself, who seems to have spent a little too much time with Van Gogh. Having no regard for privacy, we found another toad, discussed the meaning of life, and move on to the rec room where I wrecked Biff Atlas. Just kidding, I actually grabbed a pearl by accident. Round 2 though, and he didn't stand a chance against Luigi's muscles. The boost sent me on a bit of a goose chase, but nothing involving money. The second floor washroom though did involve money, in the light fixture again. Heading all the way back up, I decided to go for the Astral Hall first, fighting some more very timid ghosts and getting another boo. Oh, no, wait, he actually escaped. Oh well, I'll come back for him because right now I need to leave the fucking planet and blow up the moon to get Mario's power star. Entering the tea room, I accidentally went on the ceiling multiple times, but still got all the ghosts no problem and picked up the ice element, allowing us to take on Miss Petunia, where I, being very impatient, picked up another pearl, but on the second go caught her easily. Off to Nana's room to do battle with yarn balls. Literally, these things were such a pain, and all that just to pick up another pearl. But on the reset, I did grab the boo from the Astral Hall, then got Nana and the boo from her room, so it's not all doom and gloom. With the key now in hand to the twins' room, we head back to Area 1's dreaded hallway. The coin setup took a little bit once again, but nothing I haven't done before at this point. I did spend an embarrassing amount of time trying to activate Henry and Orville, and even picked up some bills in the process, but eventually got it. And this fight is always so crazy to me. At one point, I actually got stuck in a corner, trapped by pearls while being bombed by Orville, but eventually got through it, obtaining Mario's shoe, and then immediately picking up money while trying to get the boo. Got it on the second time though, and headed to the billiards room, where Luigi, being the pool shark he is, gave Slim Bankshot a run for his money. Me, on the other hand, well, I got trapped by pearls and accidentally warped away while waiting for them to despawn. Got him on the run back though, but unfortunately let the boo escape, so we'll have to come back for that. For now, I took on the projection room, which didn't prove to be much of an issue, allowing us to get Mario's last item and the boo here with ease. Another chat with Madame Clairvoyant to show her all of Mario's items, and she was ready to return to her painting afterwards. Despite this resolution, she still drags Luigi around the room, and I picked up another pearl, which meant going through all the dialogue again. But I did pick up the billiards room boo after the reset. Then I grabbed Madame Clairvoyant and the boo in her room, which brings us to the third floor, the safari room, where I walked in circles forever, forgetting how to actually make the ghost appear, but after that it was a cakewalk. Getting the key to the balcony, we can take on Boo Losses. No money worries here as with the other area bosses, but there's definitely still worries here. This fight took me forever, especially trying to get the last boo. At this point I'm realizing I'm just bad at the game. but eventually was able to get through, obtaining the diamond key and wrapping up area 3 with 0G. Trying to enter the other side of the attic, we have a quick run-in with Zeus and have to flip the breaker in the basement to turn the power back on. And I was actually surprised to find out that Uncle Grimly in the wardrobe room is actually required to reach the breaker room. I don't know, I just don't remember that being the case. He wasn't too much of an issue though, so we easily caught him and was able to flip the breaker. Couldn't quite get the boo here though, so we'll come back to it. The cellar is a bit tricky because of how dense with stuff it is, and money could be hiding anywhere, like in this shelf for example, which I found out the hard way while trying to get a boo. Doing the whole blackout sequence again, I made sure to save afterwards so the same thing wouldn't happen. This time around, I barely missed the cellar boo, so we'll also have to come back for that. Back in the attic, I made my way to the telephone room to fight some skeletons. Then had a Scooby-Doo sequence with the boo here, but eventually was able to get it. Moving on to the clockwork room, things were going really smoothly with the clockwork soldiers until another damn light got in my way and decided I really needed some money. Being a bit more careful the second time around, I beat them no problem, but unfortunately let the boo escape. I'm starting to see a bit of a pattern here. Heading up to the roof, there was a few more reserved spirits to take on, but nothing too challenging. After a quick save, I was ready to tackle the sealed room, another room centered around valuables, which actually was a lot easier than I thought it would be. I managed to pick the chest with the ghost in it first try, and there's not even a boo in here to catch, so I warped away, wiping the sweat from my brow. I tried for the breaker room boo again, but like usual was stopped in my tracks by a light full of coins. I did manage to pick the cellar boo right after though, so that's one more down. With just 9 boos and 5 portrait ghosts to go, I was feeling good. There's only been a few really awkward spots, and other than that, it's mostly just been being careful and patient. I felt unstoppable. No coin or gold bar was gonna stand in my way of making it out of this mansion money free. With this confidence, I headed to the sitting room to not sit, but instead walk around like an idiot forgetting what I needed to do, but after getting the ghost to spawn, I cleared it no problem and even grabbed the boo first try. In the guest room, we very rudely wake Sue P and happened to pick up a pearl as karma. The second time through went very smoothly though, and we grabbed our 43rd boo right after. Back in the attic, I headed to the armory, which had some very scary moments. These chests were bursting with money, and I only narrowly avoided adding to Luigi's bank account when opening them. Other than that, the ghosts were no problem, and I moved on to the ceramic studio to play a game with Jarvis. And he did not know who he was challenging. I mean, who else other than Luigi is this skilled at shooting ice out of a vacuum? Sucking him up was just a matter of being careful of the pearls as always. I got the boo that had escaped to this room from the armory, but the one here led me into the trap of the light fixtures again. Twice, actually, but I eventually got it, and the clockwork room boo too. Finishing up the attic for now, it's on to the basement. The pipe room wasn't anything special, and I got through it no problem. The boo though led me to the breaker room, and while you think I would have learned my lesson by now, I picked up more coins from the light again. On the reset though, I was able to get it, and even the boo from the breaker room too, taking us to cold storage to fight Sir Weston, who was very against warmth of any kind, so he wasn't very fond of our flamethrower, essentially. I actually barely escaped with my life here and had to pick up some nearby hearts, but I came back feeling good and was able to take him down, even securing our 49th boo. One more to go. Heading all the way back up to the attic, we enter the last room, the artist studio, to take on Vincent van Gogh. All my practice up to this point wielding a vacuum really came through here, and I managed to beat his painting armory easily. With just a bit of patience too, I was able to take him down, obtaining the spade key and our last boo, and then was jump scared by a gold diamond for catching all 50 boos. Thankfully, Luigi doesn't automatically pick this up, but I'm sure he wanted to, as this thing is worth 20 million G. But we've got a challenge to complete, and now with 22 portrait ghosts and all the boos in hand, we're ready to face King Boo himself, still with 0 G in my pockets. I wish there was some grand build up to the finale here, but in all honesty, I'm just really bad at this fight. 10-year-old me could never beat it, and over a decade later, I still barely can. I died so many times here, but after multiple tries and a grueling battle against the king, I finally was able to take him down. And for all this effort, what was I awarded? Mario? A final total of 0 G? No, a gem. When you suck up King Boo, you automatically pick up his crown, and this crown is the same as a red diamond, which is worth 5,000 G. It's a bit disappointing to see that it isn't possible to beat the game without collecting any money, especially right at the end. But I was pretty surprised to see that you can get all 23 portrait ghosts, 50 boos, and essentially get through the whole mansion without collecting even 1 G. And you know what? For all that hard work, Luigi deserves at least something from this crazy night, so it's alright. What will Luigi do with that red diamond, you ask? Damn.
Fire!
Hey, thanks so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if not, then let me know. This was very new for me, so I wasn't sure how it'd turn out, so I'd really appreciate any feedback or criticism so I can maybe make future videos better. But for now, have a great day. See ya.